Okay, let's see. If y'all can hear me, hello to everyone. Welcome to those of you who have already entered into the chat. It's good to see y'all. If you can hear me with no problem, can you leave some fire emojis in the comment section? If you can hear me, fire emojis, can you put that in the comment section? Let me know that you can hear me well on your end. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, y'all. I hope everybody is doing well out there. So I'm excited for this particular podcast because we have the Don Robinson that's going to be coming on to grace us with her presence. Another chosen seed who is definitely on a journey, got a lot of wisdom. And so I'm looking forward to having her come up. Um, Let me see something here. So we're going to be starting officially within the next 5 minutes or so. And we're going to be talking about various subjects here. So give me about 5 minutes and we're going to be starting exactly on time. That will be, yes, because it's 4:55 right now. So y'all make sure that you hit the like button. If you're already here, make sure you hit the like button and share this. Of course, if you feel guided to share it with someone else. And we're going to be resuming in 5 minutes, y'all. Okay, y'all. So we're going to be getting started very, very soon. I hope everybody is doing well out there. Um, I'm excited again for this podcast because, as I was telling you all before, what prompted me to ask Don to come on was, many of the chosen seed, we have very interesting journeys, to say the least. We all have that rise and fall, that tidal wave of changes that happens in our lives, but it's always happening to set us up for the next great thing. And the biggest test is how do you navigate during those times when it seems like things are just not in alignment? How do you navigate? What type of energy do you project? What type of person are you in the midst of what seems to be a storm? And what's even more interesting is that a lot of times the outside looking in, people will say, well, you've hit your lowest point, or this is, the worst case scenario. But for you, it's like, no, this is my glow up. This is me rising into my divinity. I'm healing. I'm better. I'm happier. I'm wiser. I'm stronger because of this. And so by the time you come out on the other side of that thing, people don't even recognize you anymore. So you change how you deal with people, relationships change, everything begins to take on a different form. But it's just a reminder that when you're on the journey, you have to continue to press forward despite what's happening around you. You have to learn how to grow through those various situations and still hold integrity. That's the biggest test. So, right now, let me see. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. Okay. You said the sound is better. Okay. Do I have any moderators here today? Let me see. Did any moderators come through here? Just to make sure that all of the energy that's present is in alignment here. But I appreciate all of you who have joined. And so I'm just getting some things out the way. We're getting Dawn here, working through some technicalities here, but she'll be on soon, y'all. So just bear with me. Um, let's see. Let me give y'all some shout outs out there. Where's everybody coming in? Where you checking in from? I see Juanita, Executive Rob, Corey Morris, Outside the Maze. Okay. Philadelphia, New York, South Carolina, Cincinnati, Mississippi. Okay. California, Utah, Texas, Virginia, DMV is in the house. There's Maryland. Okay. North Carolina. I see a few of y'all are from North Carolina. Bermuda. Okay. Delaware. All right. Chicago in the house. I see you. So make sure that you hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. That way it'll get into the algorithm so other people can come in and join. Yes, but this journey is a very interesting journey, and as many of you all know, from my personal circumstance, I've told my testimony time and time again. Um, uh-oh. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. We have some technical difficulties. 1 second, y'all. You know this ain't nothing but the powers that were in opposition that's trying to interfere with this particular collaboration. So bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. We got 222 in the chat. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Okay. Somebody do some burning and releasing out there to clear out all blockages and energies that's trying to stop this from happening. I got Don right here on the phone. We working through it, y'all. We're working through it. Okay,
and
y'all.
it
I
will be
appreciate y'all
streamed
bearing
on
with
in
us
June
at
of
this
the
time.
year.
Okay, this is some
And once it's
very
streamed on our
unexpected
cinemas,
technical difficulties that
you'll hit
we're having
nice.
as far as getting Don on. Okay, we're on the phone trying to work through these issues right
Oh,
now
Shelby, what if we do live on Instagram?
on
Have you ever done an
Instagram.
Instagram live? I've done
Um,
those too
ho-
with people. Oh my God, this is
hold,
so embarrassing.
hold on one second, y'all.
be.
All right, y'all. Y'all have been very, very patient, and I appreciate y'all. This is a unusual circumstance. Okay, Don is working on getting in right now.
4927.
So we are going to work through the technical difficulties. If push comes to shove, we will see if we have to redo this. Okay, but we're going to make this happen. Okay, I don't care what's going on in the background. We're going to make this happen. So bear with us, y'all. I appreciate y'all out there.
Shelby, can you hear me? Oh
Hey,
my
Don.
goodness.
Y'all, listen, we're here. We are here.
Oh my
I think you got
gosh.
a mic though. That's the only thing is that I can't hear you on my end here. Let me see. Can y'all hear Don right now? Don, can you say hello to see if they can hear you?
Hi everybody. I don't even have everything's all messed up because I was moving around.
Because I can't hear Don. Can y'all hear Don?
Let me take my hair down.
Okay, they can hear. Okay.
Can they see me? Shelby, I can't hear you anymore. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No.
OMG. Can y'all hear me in the chat? Oh, they can't hear me. Okay. Yes, y'all can hear me in the chat. Okay, but you can't hear me, Don.
No, I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay. We're
But
here.
Shavi, look, keep looking at the time because you know I got to leave here in a while.
Yes. Yes. Well, Don, I'm so glad that you was able to come on today. As I was telling everybody, you are on your mission. You are definitely amongst the chosen, and everybody is excited to have you here. So
Thank
if
you
you could
so
just,
much, y'all. Thank you. I'm so happy to
yes,
be here. Y'all, I'm gonna take my hair down in front of you because I don't like my hair.
okay, let it hang. We are here for it. You look gorgeous. And so I'm glad
Thank
that
you,
you're here,
darling.
Don. So, like, if we could just kind of jump in, I know that you wanted to kind of discuss your journey. Oh, my goodness.
Hold on. Hold on,
Okay.
Shavi. Keep talking though. I'll keep
Oh,
talking
yes,
to you.
yes. So, yes, we're just here to just discuss your journey and some of the things that you have been able to overcome, because you are definitely a
Yes.
survivor, and being able to come out there and everybody knows who you are, Don. As I was telling you before, I was Don when I was a little girl. Okay. When she was doing her music video, giving him something he can feel, when she was in the former group In Vogue, like I was her character. She taught me how to move my hips. Okay. I love In Vogue. I love the music that you made. And, I wouldn't be able to recognize anybody except for you. If I was walking down the street,
Wow.
one that I would be able to recognize. So a lot of people love you, Don, and we're all excited to have you here. So,
Thank you, Shavi. That says a lot. That says a whole lot. It really does. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. I am I have to apologize. This has never happened to me. Not any of those 105,000 interviews that I did back in the day. This is happening for a reason.
oh yes,
It's an attack. Yeah, it's definitely an attack.
it's okay, but they couldn't stop it though. So we're here. So, like, if you could just kind of let us know, what are some things that you could tell us about your specific journey that led you to this next part of your mission right now?
Ask the question again, Shavi. What is
Some
some what?
specific things that you have been able to overcome on your journey, because obviously you was in the industry, and you experienced a lot there. You definitely have made a large impact on music. A lot of people know your name, so you had to overcome some things being in the industry.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that experience a little bit?
Absolutely. It's been, the industry itself is beautiful. Music is amazing. And it was my dream to be a singer. Music is life to me. I can't imagine growing up without it. I can't imagine not having music in my life. It's a solace. It's a place for healing for me.
Yes.
So growing up singing, my father actually noticed my talent first, and I got into this industry. It was like my dream came true, and then all of a sudden I didn't see the evil stuff behind the scenes because they kind of hide that from us as artists. But we could definitely see later. I would say later, because when I first signed my contract, I didn't notice that it was a bad contract. I didn't notice that we were making 2 pennies a record, because the way a contract is set up, there's points, there's percentages, and we didn't know how to read that stuff. We didn't know what we were reading. I remember asking in our very first meeting with our attorney, what a mechanical royalty was. And he, because I thought it was something having to do with a car. I really did think that. And he was like, no, this is what it means. But even with him explaining that to us, when we left, we were like, okay, so mechanical royalty, like, how do the points break down? We didn't know. And we just signed the contract as it was. We felt we didn't have an option, but we also didn't think there was anything wrong with what we were signing. So it wasn't until I got older and started asking questions and looking around and hearing interviews with other artists that I felt we were getting gypped. We were getting the short end of the stick, and we were definitely that. So
Yes.
getting over that has been it's been trial and error. It's been really, I'm on my own because you need, in order to talk to an attorney, you have to pay them. They're not free. So they're not just going to sit there with you for hours to explain to you what you have to do to rectify your situation. And I have to say, I was attacked by my group. You know, I was ostracized. Terry had done a solo. Am I going away here? Yes, I am. Terry had done a solo album. The record company came to me while she was on. They came to me while she was on tour and asked me if I wanted to do a solo album as well. I said yes, because at that time, sorry, Shari, am I going too far?
No, you're perfectly fine.
So they came to me to ask me to do a solo album, and I said yes, because from the time that it took Terry to record her album, and now she's promoting her album, now she's on a tour for her album, my bank, the bank was looking at me like, if you don't pay your mortgage, we're going to take your house. So I was like, okay, you want me to do a solo album? Same record company now that offered the solo album to Terry. So I said yes, and I started recording, and midway through my recording, the record company said, okay, well, we're going to cut you off because we got to get En Vogue back in the studio. And I was like, wait a minute, like, you told me it's going to be me right now, and now you're not doing it. So it was just a mess, Shabi. Just ask another question, because I'm
it was a lot of underhanded things that took place, but it led you to your journey now, where obviously you've gone through a spiritual awakening and you found your voice again. You've been speaking truth.
Yes.
So what has that looked like for you as far as that part of your journey since leaving En Vogue?
Oh boy, that was since leaving En Vogue. I didn't even know myself. Even when I left the group, I still wasn't where I am now. So that has been, like you, I'm sure, a huge journey. But I started to see life as like, okay, there's certain things that the government is telling us, and certain things that even my record company was telling me, and certain things Big Pharma is doing. I've always been, even as a kid, I remember my mother's friend at her job gave me a book called Becoming Younger. There's another book called Know Thyself. And I'm sorry, Key to Yourself. And I read that. I was in high school still. And I was like, wow, so I can actually create the life that I want. I can create my own life. And I don't have to follow the status quo of the government. I don't have to follow the status quo of anybody. But when I got in Vogue, I had to, as they say, go along to get along. So I had to follow their rules. I had to comply with what they wanted. I would have been ostracized and kicked out for sure if I had my own mind then. So as I started to see the world and see, like, you know, like I said, government telling us certain things and controlling us, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And I just started opening my eyes about certain things and the control. I don't like being controlled. Maybe this is Sagittarius in me, but I don't like being controlled at all. I don't care who you are. Even as a kid, I would defy my mom to a certain point. I knew my limit, but I was like, Mom, why can't I this and can I that? Like, I knew to be respectful, but I also asked questions.
That's right.
So yeah, opening my eyes to stuff. It's like, wait a minute, certain things just didn't make sense to me, and I would ask because of that.
So do you feel like a large part of the shift that's happened in your journey consists of you moving in a different direction that allows you to speak your truth from a spiritual perspective, and, you know, speaking truths that you likely would not have spoken had you still been a part of, you know, Lucy Pearl or En Vogue or just in the industry in general? Do you feel like it kind of, you said it puts kind of like a muzzle on your mouth where there's certain things that you just typically can't speak on because your management, they'll like maybe step in and say, hey, maybe that's not the best thing to talk about right now or something like that?
Exactly. Well, I knew enough not to say certain things either because the girls would check me on stuff. So I remember there's a clip of us actually. We were in London, and it had to be 90 because our Funky Divas album came out in 92, and I had the green jacket on from when we did Saturday Night Live, and we were on a talk show in London. And, you know, they're very tongue-in-cheek in London and in the UK in general. They laugh a lot. They have a lot more fun than we do in America. I find that they don't take life so seriously.
Yes.
Sorry. And the guy that was on the show, asked the question to all of us because I don't know how we got on the subject, but he said, so would any of you ladies, would any of you ladies date a bloke from, that was broke, that had no money? He said that was broke and had no money. And I said, well, we're broke.
Okay.
Sitting right there now. If we were really not broke, the other girls would have been like, Dawn, we're not broke, or Dawn, that's not true. We're not all the way broke. I mean, we don't have as much money as we want, but none of them said anything, Shavi. None of them corrected me. None of them said anything to me. I don't know why I'm sideways and you're straight on here.
Oh no, you're straight up. You're straight. Okay. Yes. So I'm wondering, do you think that that's like a common theme for even other artists outside of, being in Vogue? Do you think other artists was also experiencing the same thing, but just not talking about it openly?
Probably. I've seen a few artists like Left Eye. Left Eye did that famous, she did an interview where she said, boys and girls, get a pen and pad. I'm going to tell you how a group of our stature or our caliber, has sold millions of albums but made no money. Or I think she said $1.14 an album. I'm like, girl, we made 2 cents an album and you made $1.14. So they were I think they at least made $1 million a piece. But we were way below that. So, and somebody came in the other night because they're being very nasty. Since I've gone viral, there's a lot of people trying to shut me up. Like, Dawn, can you prove, where's your contract to prove that you only made 2 pennies a record? It's like, first of all, I don't have to prove it. None of the girls in my group have contested it. None of them have come out and said anything. So, but when Left Eye said that, I was like, wow, like you guys have gone through the same thing. But the difference with them is that she wasn't alone. Left Eye wasn't by herself. Like she had Chili and T-Boz. They all went to the record company and they tore Clive Davis's office up. Like they literally went in and were like, okay, we see, I guess they had plaques on the wall that was like TLC sold a certain amount of records. They're like, okay, this is ours and that's ours. And they were knocking stuff off the wall, like, because they didn't make the money. Sorry, they didn't make the money that that represented, the plaques that they had on the wall. And it's like,
yes.
Sorry, something came up on my screen. But yeah, they didn't make the money that represented those plaques that were on the wall. So she's the only one I think that was gutsy enough to say it, but it's like, no, this has to be over. Like the days of we're in, and I hear you talk about it all the time, Shavi, the days of the age of Aquarius, first of all, the age of I know. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah, I'm going to talk about this, first of all, because it's my life, and also because I want to educate the world, not just on the music business is not everybody's business, but it's like, somebody else may be at their job and they're not getting paid what they deserve. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to speak up on this because I have the right to. If you don't like what I'm saying, then don't come to my page. You have the right to not be on my channel. You have the right to not like Dawn. I don't care if you don't like me. You just don't come on here and try to stop me, though. But I think there's a lot of other artists that would definitely speak up had they, like you said a little while ago, not had their manager in their ear, the record company in their ear saying, don't say that. Don't talk about managers, especially. They're so scary. They don't want us talking truth about our lives. It's like, wait a minute. I'm living this thing. And it's not to complain at all. Like I said in one of my episodes, people are going through some real shit. Sorry, but they're going through stuff. So who am I to complain, But yeah, Shavi, I definitely think that a lot more artists would speak up if they came together and said, we artists need to speak up. We need to collaborate with one another, or not collaborate, but
stand in solitude. Yeah.
Yeah, support each other. Yeah. Without
a doubt. I agree with that 100%. So now you're able to speak your truth. Nothing is holding you back. So you've chosen freedom, right? So you're in this position now where you've chosen to live off the grid. You're doing your own thing. And so I've spoken about this a lot on my channel as far as like everybody is waking up. Even if you don't want to wake up, you're starting to see things, whether you want to see it or learning that, a lot of these structures and systems that the government has in place, it's all crazy. I was just thinking about it the other day as far as driving. You're driving down the street on the expressway and you hit a toll. Why do I have to pay to keep going? You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it's so
It's
many
insane.
different things that we're all starting to question. And so you're living off the grid. This is becoming huge. A
Yes,
lot of
it is.
people have chosen to do like van life or RVs or car, you know, living in their vehicles, because now you don't have to worry about paying for electric and rent and all of these things that people may have it, but they're struggling to maintain it. So they don't have peace of mind, which is far more valuable than
Yes.
anything else. So
That's
what
right,
can you
Shelby.
tell us about that particular path that you're on right now?
Well, first of all, I want to say it again because people still think somebody offered me last night, you can come stay in my place. I got an extra bedroom. I'm like, you guys, this is only temporary. It really just is that. And it's also part of my awakening. This is part of my journey. It started out being, you know, I don't have a place to be, and I could have, like I said, stayed at my mom's. It was not conducive for me. We'll get into that later, but it wasn't conducive. It was not good for my spirit. It didn't feel good to be there. As much as I love her, I love and adore my mom, but it just was not. She had an angry itch for me, and I just had to go, and I knew that. As scared as I was to be in my car, I'm like, but this is my only option, or stay at that hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But again, my manager was playing games, and I knew it. I could see it. I could feel it. I'm looking for apartments, and every apartment that I see, I send him video because he's supposed to meet me, but he never did. And so it's like, you know what? You got to do something that is not unprecedented, but it's unlike me to say I'm going to live in my car. I've never done it before, but I'm willing to try this right now because my options are stay with my mom and allow her anger to just be so venomous, and that I'm always down or upset or keeping my mouth shut and not saying the things that I really feel. I've never disrespected my mom. I just also want to say that I'm not a disrespectful woman, but I've never been that with my mother. I know the respect that I have to have for her. Even now, she would always say to me, even as a grown woman, Dawn, you can curse. I'm like, Mom, no, you raised me that way and I still feel weird. Okay, I'll say it for just the sake of the story, but okay, shit or fuck. But then that doesn't even feel right. So it was either stay and do it my mom's way and just be completely invisible in her house, or strike out on my own and sleep in my car. But once I got out here, I'm like, okay, make the best of this situation. Make the best of it. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and complain. Make the best of this. And I did. And
this is what opens up doors, though. This is the next stage, because what Don, what you've chosen is freedom over codependency.
Yes.
You chose freedom over codependency because in a more vulnerable position, people take advantage of you. If they think that you need them, they try to exert their control or power over you, and they think that you have to bend at their will. So you literally chose freedom over codependency. This is a power move, y'all. Y'all got to understand. This is not something, it's not weakness by no means. This is a power move because this is leveling you up. It's showing your strength. It's showing that despite circumstances, it's like your freedom, your ability to say yes, yay or nay, is far more important to you than being under someone else's rulership. So
absolutely,
this is powerful, and it's going to open up more doors for you. So go ahead. You was getting ready to say something, Don?
It's okay. Yeah, no, it became more powerful because at first I was scared. I wasn't aware of what it would take. I had no idea of how to even set up my bed in the back. Like, I remember the first few days that I slept back there. When I woke up in the morning, I woke up kind of like my head was down and my feet were up, and I was like, oh God, this is terrible. My neck was killing me. Like, it was horrible. But I learned over time how to set my bed up right. And I remember my assistant, who I don't pay, like, you know what I mean? It's like all those evils that came in. You got an assistant, you got to pay an assistant. No, I don't have to pay an assistant. Not everybody that works with you requires money. People volunteer and they help. So I just wanted to clear that up again. But yeah, she was like, Diva, she calls me Diva. Go to Home Depot and get because under each bed, most beds have a what do you call it? Springboard, box spring. Okay. And then they have the mattress on top of that. But underneath the box spring, they have something hard to support the box spring too. And then the box spring is hard. So she's like, get a big board that's big enough to fit back there. That's my length and height. Height and width. and I measured it out and I got what I could. And that wasn't even good at first. Like over time, I've improved it to make it more comfortable for me. But, you know, the freedom that I have and not having to abide by someone else's rules or how my mother feels that day, or she wants to just lash out on me. And it's insane. I don't want to make her feel, I'm not trying to blast my mother out. I would never want her to look bad in any way. I think you want to talk about that a little later, so we will. But, you know, it's better than staying in a situation where I'm not happy or staying in a situation where someone controls me.
That's right.
You know, and so my car was, I remember, well, we'll talk about that because that's with her. What she said to me when I told her, all I have is my car. And she said, okay, so you tell me when you're ready to talk about the mother thing.
No, we could definitely get into because that's a part of the process when you're moving yourself from certain structures, certain belief systems, and you're starting to take your power back. Certain relationship dynamics start to shift. You know, people don't like that you're starting to speak up for yourself or to stand in your power or starting to remember who you are. And so you're going to start to see relationships change, and they may not even be consciously aware of what's happening within them that's causing them to be in opposition to you, but it happens. And so a large part of even when it comes to manifesting, when we're talking about the spiritual journey, your peace of mind, that is necessary in order to call in new things. So if you're in an environment that's unhealthy for your mind or it's toxic to you, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to manifest those visions that you have. So that's why I say you chose freedom over codependency, and that is the prerequisite to the next level up. But yes, as far as the karmic relationships, if you wanted to kind of expound on, did you notice shifts that happened in your personal life the more that, you know, things begin to change for you on your journey and the more that you awaken?
Yeah, well, I don't even understand. It was almost like her doing that to me forced me into my car so that I could have this journey. It had to start that way because otherwise I would have stayed with my mom until my career, you know, because I was having meetings with people in Vegas trying to get a residency. I was having meetings. I actually flew over to the UK with a manager over there, and that didn't work out either. So it wasn't like I was sitting around and just waiting for opportunities, but the ones that I did have weren't working out. So once I was in my car, though, I'm like, okay, what does this mean for me? This is something different. Like, okay. And then, like I said, I was researching other people in their car situations. So they were making it work. I'm like, okay, that's cute how she set her thing up and how he's got his car. One guy I even had in my episode 8 showing that he set up a bar in his car, like for clothes. So he hung his clothes up, you know? And again, it's temporary, but the journey that led me here had to happen for me to be here. So even the argument that I had with my mother, one too many arguments, I was like, okay, she's just angry and I'm her target. And it's like, what do they call a whooping boy, or whatever they call that word that they say, you are the black sheep of the family. And she's taking it out on me for whatever reason. She's angry in a way that I've never seen before. So I have to go. And I just thought it was just going to be for a little while. I didn't think it would be 3 years, but even this 3 years, there were other things that I've learned in the process.
Yes.
You have to be strong to live anywhere, especially when you live alone. But I had to be even stronger in my car. So the things that I've learned, I wouldn't trade for anything, but it's like my mental state, my mental health, healing. I know that when I was in my place also, I was always watching more TV. She's got a television in every room, including her own, especially. And then there's like a guest room that TV would be on, and then the living room television. So it was loud, distractions, because her home phone is ringing. So her and my stepdad are getting phone calls. Just different things that I knew if I didn't leave that I wouldn't be able to heal. I wouldn't be able to. I didn't even think I needed to heal. That's the thing, Shelby. There were things that I didn't even know I needed to heal from. But I couldn't have done it because it's Dawn. Come in. Dinner's ready? You know, stuff like that. And like a kid, I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to like meditate or dig stuff up. Just do research on something, and it's not that she was bothering me. I loved being around family, but I was used to living on my own. So it's I don't know. This whole journey led me to the place that I'm at now, which is good because I needed this. As ugly as it was to have a falling out with her, I needed to do this. And I hope she's healing too. I hope my mother's healing because that's important for her as well, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So she was the catalyst to this change that you have undergone. And I mean, again, you look great. Dawn looks great.
Today I'm a mess.
Listen, no, stop. You are not. And you fresh face, okay? Dawn, listen, Dawn looks great, okay?
Thank you, Shavi.
I don't even know that people know, you know, but it ain't even about age. Nothing. You look great. So the fact that Dawn is here, she's in her car doing, living off the grid and still able to show up looking younger than ever. Okay.
Thank you,
It says a lot. It says a lot about preservation.
Coming from the woman with butter skin. I told you that the other night. Your skin is like butter, always.
Listen, we both buttering over here, but this is the true example of preservation and being set aside. Because I always tell people, like, the harder the shift that people go through, the more of a ranking that the Most High is getting ready to place you on. Like,
wow,
you have to have a lot of things stripped from you in that moment so that you didn't have any distractions, no managers, no producers, no records, no traveling tours. All of that stuff was just the noise that the Most High didn't want you to have, because your voice is needed. And because people already know who you are, this next level up, they're gonna be like, do y'all see this new Dawn that's coming through? So I already know. I already see it. I can feel it. And I'm sure that everybody here, they see the journey. But see, it's those who are blind and don't have that spiritual awareness that will look at your situation and say, what is she doing? Why doesn't she go and, works at, at any other place? But it's not, this is bigger than that. She has a purpose that's far greater than that. And sometimes for me, like, if I would have gone back and worked as a nurse, I could have done that. Mm-hmm. But it was like, no, my purpose, I have a mission, a purpose that's far greater than me being under a system doing work that it doesn't align with me. I don't believe in that particular type of medicine. I don't believe in giving chemicals. And so you have to go with what is in alignment with your own moral compass. And so a lot of times people think that it's supposed to be one of those just simple solutions. Just get distracted with something else. Go do something else to distract you, to make them feel better. It makes them feel better.
Absolutely, because I never said that I needed money. I never said that I'm not. Just because you live in your car does not mean that you're homeless and that you're downtrodden or that you have no finances at all. It's like I told them in the last video, I cleared it up even more. Or not the last video, because that was my circus series. But episode 7, I said, I have people helping me. I said that even in episode 6, that I have people that are, my forever mother-in-law and Nisi, my assistant. And then I also said that I have little checks that I get every now and then so I can get my hair done.
Yes.
So I can, you know what I mean? It's like, there's things that even if I had a major income, I think right now I would continue. I'd probably get a van, something bigger to give me more space. Mm-hmm. But this is healing. This is much deeper. Like you said, it's a spiritual journey. It's not just physical. The car part is, again, the catalyst. You said catalyst a little bit. The car part is only the catalyst to my growth.
Yes.
You got to be strong for what God has prepared for me. There's other things that I know I have to do besides being a singer. I'm a motivational speaker. I want to do books. All that stuff matters. Yes. Somebody was nasty and came in last night and I had to block them because I was getting ready to start addressing it. And I was like, I'm not even going to waste time. But they said, you've been saying this for years that you're going to do a book and you're going to do this. And but every single time the adversary comes in and cuts me off. You cannot work in the studio and do an album without money. It takes finances to record. Now, I've recorded a lot of music over the years with those two guys that I brought in to do the Lucy Pro project, Glenn and Bobby. But that money, I'm sorry. So when you record it, you got to do a photo shoot. You got to have money to promote. You got to pay for, I don't think you have to pay to stream. That's a whole world that I'm not even a part of because we weren't streaming when I was still in Invoke or Lucy Pearl. So that came after. So there's a whole lot of stuff that I'm learning about the industry that I didn't even know. It didn't exist when I was still in the industry. But this gives me a chance to even learn that stuff, So
Mhm.
They're nasty comments. I'm just like, you love to come here and say nasty things because you're fascinated by what I'm doing, but you're pissed off that I'm, like I said, making it work, and that I'm not looking like my situation. Except today.
Yeah, and it's always going to be negative energy. It's like, what do they call them? The trolls, or
Of
the
course.
I call them the cockroaches, but they try to find their way into your energy because you removed yourself from anything that was toxic, and now it wants to still try to find its way to you. That's
Yep.
that's a part of the spiritual journey, to see if they can throw you off course and have you in your head thinking, well, did I make the right decision? Am I the one
Exactly.
that caused this? When people, they just have, if you know, you know. Let's just
Yep.
put it that way. If you know, you know. When you're on a spiritual journey, you understand that it can really take you all the way down to the lowest points, but then when you get catapulted, it's like the phoenix that rises from the ashes. When you get
Yes.
catapulted upward, it's going to shock everybody. It's going to amaze everyone, but it's a lot of times it takes you on a journey that's far different from the one that you came from. So
Exactly, Shawty.
your voice is being projected. You are the true speaker. You're a Sagittarius, so you're meant to bring forth troops that is going to shake some, it's going to shake some people up.
Exactly. Yep.
But I have a strong feeling that this is getting ready to expand for you far beyond your career as a singer. This is getting ready to get even bigger than that. So
Thank
I'm
you,
glad that
Shawty.
you was able to come on today, Dawn. Is there
Oh my
anything else
God.
that you wanted to add? Because we was finally able to make it happen. The powers that were, they couldn't stop this one, y'all. They couldn't stop.
I told you earlier that I wanted to talk about the mother-daughter dynamic because
Yes.
that's important. And it's not to hate on my mother at all. Again, this Barbara Jean, if you watch this, you see it, or somebody tells you, the family tells you, it was not to shame you. You were the best mother growing up. You raised us right. You are a good mother, but something happened. And at first somebody had made mention too, maybe your mother has dementia. So I had to look it up when I was still at her house. I'm like, why is she so angry at me? But dementia is angry at everybody. It doesn't single one person out, and she was singling me out. And so I was like, okay, no, this is more than that. Yeah, it was just wicked. It was like the thing that made me not talk to her ever again, or say that it's going to be a while before I talk with her again, was she said, you know what, Dawn, I had made guacamole of all things. Sometimes I tell people this all the time. When you have a falling out with someone, most times it's not over something really major, something ugly. And I made guacamole, and I didn't put salt in hers because she has high blood pressure. So I made one bowl for me and my stepdad, another bowl for my mother, separate. And I went in to show her, this is your bowl, this is our bowl. And she followed me back to the kitchen and she said, okay, well, there's not enough tortilla chips. I said, Mom, okay, I'll get some later. And then she said, yeah, this is not enough because it's only one bag. I said, I know, I'll get some. She said, okay, because yeah, Bobby can eat that one. My stepdad can eat that one bag by himself. And I said, Ma, okay, I'll get some later. You haven't said anything about the guacamole. And she said, do we have to thank you for everything? Every fucking thing. Sorry, do we have to thank you for every fucking? And I said, okay, no. And I knew right then that as she gets angry, that means that's the signal for you to get out. You got to go, because she's getting ready to, go there. And she said something else. And I said, Ma, she said, you don't have nothing, Dawn. I said, I know. I said, I have my car and my dog. And she said, no, you don't have nothing. You don't even have kids.
Wow.
What? I looked at her because she was sitting to my left, and I looked at her and I said, she was at the kitchen table behind me. I was washing dishes. And I turned to her and I said, Ma, was that supposed to hurt me? And she put her head down. I don't know if she was looking at the table or her lap, but she put her head down like she was ashamed. She didn't say anything else. But I packed my stuff and I didn't see her for another 2 years, until the year before last. I went back home to switch out clothes for winter clothes and summer clothes. And it just, how can you say, knowing that I wanted children, I've had a huge career. I'm grateful for my career. I was married. I was grateful for that until I wasn't, because he's crazy, my ex. And then I was grateful that I had a house. So the only thing that I didn't have was children. And if anyone that doesn't have children knows, that is a heavy conversation to have, especially with a woman. But I got a lot of men too that when they saw me on the reality show that I had done years back, I talked about that, which I talk about my issues because we as human beings need to help each other get through things. I don't talk about it to complain. Oh, poor Dawn. Oh, she's not doing well. Oh, she's so sad because she doesn't have kids. No, it's not that. It is because there's a lot of women. There's actually support groups online on YouTube that support each other not having children. And these are older women that are in their 80s and they never had kids, or younger women that are like, okay, well, I'm 32 and I'm still waiting, or women that are in their 60s or 50s and they've never had kids. So we support each other. So it's not that. It's not about even calling my mother out, like I said. This is about healing those. Sorry for the noise.
No, it's fine.
You can hear it?
What we can hear, but we can hear you as well.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, this is about healing those relationships and mothers being really not just mothers. Because I noticed in my family, my cousins will say the same, when you're going to have kids. Even my male cousins were like that over the years. I'm like, oh my God, when I have kids, it's when I have kids. But I thought I had time. And now it's like older. I'm like, oh boy. But even in the Bible, women that didn't have kids, they were shunned. You know, a lot of them were shunned. And then who's the one who had kids in her 80s? I'm like,
y'all got to say it in the chat. I was it Sarah? No, was it Sarah? I don't know. Don't get me the line.
One of those women.
but just like, we just know that there's nothing is impossible. That much is for certain.
She told God, she was like, I'm 80. I think she was in her 80s. I'm like, God, I know Esther. No.
Somebody else said Sarah. Ruth. Somebody else said Ruth. Was it Ruth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Healing the relationship between mother and daughter, though. Sometimes mothers can be jealous of their daughters. I'm like, what is that? Like my mom, I thought always supported me in En Vogue. Maybe she's angry because I'm not in En Vogue anymore. She's ashamed of me. I thought that too. Maybe I didn't give her the life that she wanted, that I thought I wanted to give her too. You know? Shit, I didn't want to be out of En Vogue. I'm sorry to curse, Shavi.
No, you're fine.
But I didn't want to be out of En Vogue either. I didn't think that was going to end the way it did, but that's what they chose. That's what listen. My journey had to be what it was. I don't even blame En Vogue for kicking me out. It had to happen for me to find my light. I'm not just a singer, you know, I love that part of my life. I love Lucy Pearl and En Vogue. You guys know I've talked about it many times. But I also know that there's more to me that I have to do. And I wouldn't have done that if you know, you do projects when you're in a group, but you can't really focus. Your focus is En Vogue.
That's right.
My focus when I was in Lucy Pearl, my dedication was to Lucy Pearl. So I can't go off and do other projects when I'm in that situation.
It's almost like that begins to define you. Like, and even when you said you had to find your light, it's like you're finding your light from within rather than being focused on the spotlight that somebody else gives you. You're now finding that light from within. So now you can project that any and everywhere you go. You don't need anybody else to come in and say, well, I'm going to put you in the spotlight. I give you permission to be on this stage. No, because you are the light. You're the walking light.
Exactly.
So this is your journey. I mean, that's how you know you're favored. The Most High said, look, who you are meant to become, finding yourself is far more important than having this particular spotlight or other people saying that they know you based on this or based on that. It was far more important, far more valuable. So it's a beautiful thing that you just embraced it. You didn't fight up against it. You didn't allow your ego to say, no, I have to put on this particular facade. Because I'm sure we'd be surprised at how many people who are like celebrity status or have a particular name who are really struggling to maintain the glitz and glamour. See what I'm saying? And still haven't found their light. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
So
I knew that there was a bigger purpose for me. As big as I was in En Vogue is still to this day, and Lucy Pearl, I still knew that there was more because I'm naturally an empath. I feel people. I have a big heart, but compassion. Compassion is a big thing for me, and I've always been that way. Always, even when I was little, I just remember feeling certain kind of way when I saw things with people on TV or animals being hurt. I've just always had a big heart. So it was easy for me to start, even on Twitter. At one point, I went from Twitter. Again, it blew up so fast. I was like, because I was on Twitter every day talking to the people, and I would give a good word. And somebody said, Dawn, before I go to work, I come in on your Twitter page just to see what you say for the day. Before I go into work, I'm like, oh my God. Like, so I started thinking, okay, what about doing a book or a book series of, like, where it's kind of like lemons to lemonade, and you are giving people a way of seeing the light in their life. If I don't have to go to a 9 to 5 every day. I'm thankful that I've had the career that I've had, but other people are not so fortunate, but they still have a dream within them that they want to live that dream. And so let me give them a word to remind them, this job that you're going to is somebody else's dream, and you're going there every day to make them richer. Don't forget about what your dream is. Don't forget about what you have inside of yourself, that you want to become this thing, or that dream is still there. You had it in high school, or you might have had it after high school when you were in college, but it's still there. So don't forget that. And they were like, oh my God, okay, I got to come on your. So I was like, okay, instead of just doing this on Twitter, what if I do a book? So for the haters that are going to see this and say, well, why didn't she do the book? Because life happened. That's why.
And everything happens in divine timing. It could very well be that this part of your mission needs to be in the book. That's why. 2025 needs to be in the book. Okay. So everybody has something to say, but they don't understand that it's far greater than their opinions, And
they're just hateful, and they have to say nasty things like that. But Shavi, thank you. You just said a lot right there. Come on, Shavi. All of this has to be included. This is a very big deal. It's not to say, again, that it's bad. It's like, how do you make, when I got in my car and I was finally here that night that I was on the beach in Malibu, how do I make this work for me?
Yes.
How do I make this work for me? And so including that in the book would be awesome. It would be amazing. And that you might be right about that. That has to be it. Oh,
it's so important. You can't leave this part out. This is a big deal, because this is like the portion before the big rise. Like, people have to know that, especially for those people out there who are working certain jobs, 9 to 5s, that is stressing them out. They hate it. They're even having health issues as a result of this. And they're thinking, I have to do this for the rest of my life or until I retire.
Ooh, exactly.
Imagine having to do that until you're like 70 years old, breaking your back, sweat and tears, when you could have freed yourself. You could have freed yourself. Exactly. You would have had to downsize your life, but it would have offered you so much peace of mind. You'd be looking young, just like Dawn is looking young over there. And you get outside, get grounded, be able to smile. Look, your smile is so genuine. It's effortless. You see what I'm saying? But it's a lot of people that they don't even have that. They can't smile genuinely from within, even though they have the home, but the bills are outrageous. Every month there's stressed out about how they're going to get to the next dollar, the next meal. And so we're moving into a time now where there's a big shift that's happening, even governmental wise. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of people are going to be looking for ways like, how do I get back to nature? How do I downsize? How do I learn how to navigate these shifts? And who you think they're going to be looking to?
Okay.
Okay.
If there was an apocalypse right now, I would know how to survive off grid. I would know how to survive. Like, come on, I already know that. But the thing is, too, you said something a little while back. They're going to these jobs and they're not happy. But even millionaires, there's some millionaires that have all the money in the world. They're not stressed out about their bills, but they're not happy in their life because they're still not fulfilled within. They're not finding their joy. So, it's like you can have all the money in the world. If you are not happy with yourself and have that peace within, all the money won't help you. I've met millionaires. I've been into many celebrities' homes, and I've been around, what do you call them? Executives, music executives in this business. And they're like, you can see there's no joy. You can see it. You can feel it when you meet with them, even at an office, and you meet them outside of their homes or their mansions. They're not happy people. They're not happy at all.
But it almost seems like, from the outside looking in, it's almost like it's a prerequisite to be in that particular industry. Like, you can't really have compassion and be in
Right.
that industry. It's like you got to be
Cutthroat.
egotistical, cutthroat, egotistical. Like it's like I'll step on whoever to get to the next. So compassion, there's not a whole lot of room there. It seems, not saying that no one has compassion in the industry, but it seems like it's a rare trait.
It is rare. It is, Shelby, but I'm just like, why is it rare? Why is it rare why can't it be? Like I said before, I've grown up with, I can name so many different artists, but what comes to mind is like, oh my gosh, Sergio Mendes, Mas Canada, the Beatles, my dad and I, of course, Aretha Franklin. How can you be Clive Davis? I think she was signed to Clive Davis. How can you be Whitney Houston and not be, how can you be Clive Davis over Whitney Houston and not be happy? You have one of the greatest voices in the world.
Right.
Some of the most incredible music in the world. All these people are governed over this music, over these artists. Crosby, Stills, and Nash that I grew up with. Marvin Gaye. How can you be an executive and not be happy that you have Marvin Gaye signed to you as an artist? Like, you should be having dinner with him constantly and picking his brain for how do you create your music? How did you do what's going on? Because that song right there, just that one song, has, I can't even use the word. What is the word? That what's going on speaks to the climate at that time when he released it. Also, right now, what's going on?
It's true.
It's like all of these songs. So I'm just saying, how can these executives, you got all the money in the world, that should make you happy right there. Because most of us work for $1. Like, we work for that check to pay our bills. And so you got it. You don't even have to work. Like, your bills get paid automatically. If you have bills, you probably bought that mansion flat out. Like, you have that much money to do it. You have a place to live, a roof over your head all the time. You don't have to worry about anything. And your kids are always eating, so you don't have to worry about food on the table. And yet you are miserable.
Yes.
What? Yeah. So money doesn't make it. It's like that. If you don't have peace within, and you don't even when I say it all the time too about relationships, you meet someone and it doesn't work out. And so most women tend to say, or a lot of women tend to say, well, all men are crap. All men are bullshit. Sorry. Can I curse?
Yeah.
All men are bullshit. All men are assholes. And or men say all women are bitches. Well, it's like, no, you just didn't meet the right one. But did you have peace within yourself before you met that person? Because if you're not right, you're coming two broken pieces trying to come together. Don't make a relationship.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's like I was in the most beautiful group in the world, which should have made the record company, first of all, make sure these girls are making money just like we are. Why can't y'all make sure that En Vogue is, what is it that you have to be controlling of us, as opposed to saying, hey, these girls they sold, when I was still in the group, 28 million records. Let's make sure that each of these girls is a millionaire at least. And we were not.
That's right.
Combined, I don't think we made $1 million while we were there. You know what I mean? While we were together. So somebody said, oh, you didn't make 2 pennies a record. I'm like, well, why hasn't Maxine? I know Maxine can test it because we've talked about it in person with each other. In 2020, when we were working together as the Funky Divas, her and I. And I just had to confirm it with us. I was like, Max, did we make, $2 a record? We tried to find it in the contract. I still had my contract. And she's like, you have our signatures and everything? I'm like, yeah, I have the original contract. But we couldn't find it in there. And the points break down to a certain way where it says, 2 pennies a record, points and percentages. But she said, yeah, we made 2 pennies a record. Why do you think Denny had a mansion and we didn't have a mansion? Why do you think we're still struggling? And I told the person the other night when they came on my channel saying something nasty under one of my comments on one of my videos. I said, why haven't the other girls contested me? If it's true that we made more than 2 pennies a record, then they have to come. I said, I challenge them to come on and talk to me about it. No, Dawn, that's not true. We made more. And I said, and Terry, they said Cindy, she had a mansion. I said she had a mini mansion. First of all, it wasn't a mansion, but her husband worked for he played for the Cincinnati Reds. Like, he was a professional baseball player. So he had the money to take care of his family. And with baseball players, I don't know how far you want to go into this, but with baseball players, when a rookie signs to a major baseball team, the manager for the baseball team has a bunch of people around that rookie. They have a booking. I'm sorry. What do you call it? They have an accountant. They have somebody to keep the books for them. I forgot what that's called. It's escaping me right now. But they have somebody to keep their books for them and keep the finances together.
Mm-hmm.
They have managers. They have all these people that keep them in line. So you don't hear from professional baseball or football, basketball players, NBA or anybody that they're having financial problems unless they're gambling or they're doing drugs.
Okay.
And that's on them that they mess their own lives up, you know.
So they pretty much set them up in the sports industry. So what do you think the reason for that is? Because it's not like it's not enough money to go around to make sure that you get paid what you are paid your value. So what's the reason for that in the music industry specifically? Is it just specifically that label, or is that just like a common theme across the board?
It's the common theme, but check this out, Shavi. It's not just the common theme across the board. It is the common theme for Black artists, for Moors. I don't like to call us Black anymore. We're getting out of that word Black, but for Black people, for lack of a better word, because you don't hear about the Dixie Chicks going broke. You don't hear about them not making money, I should say. It's not that we didn't go broke. We didn't have it to begin with. You don't hear about that. You don't hear about Garth Brooks ever having any financial problems. You don't hear about, so it just depends on the artist. And I guess maybe you're right. It does depend on the label. Because Missy Elliott, Missy said that she hadn't gotten paid. I think she told us she hadn't gotten a royalty check. I'm like, you're Missy. Like, you write for other people besides you being an artist yourself.
Right.
And you haven't. She's like, I have never gotten. I'm not quoting her correctly, so if I'm wrong, you guys correct me in the comments. But she said she hadn't seen a royalty check. I think she said she got paid in other ways, but she didn't have a royalty check. She got paid from her rights to have her music played on the radio. I don't know what she was saying, but you know, it's like with us melanated people, it tends to be that. So I'm like, okay, Diana Ross was taken care of in a different way because she was dating, you know, what's his name, from Motown.
Okay. So it's really all about who you know, who you're connected to romantically, and all of these little pieces play a major role in whether or not you really see the wealth. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
makes
who
sense.
You know. It's also, I think, what you're willing to compromise in yourself. If you're willing to sell your soul, because I'm not saying that she did, I'm saying some of these artists were willing to sell their souls and they made a lot of money because of that. So they're doing okay. You don't hear about certain people having financial problems. I almost said some names. Right. I'm not gonna name names, but you know, not every artist.
And just to correct, like selling your soul, I think a lot of people have a certain perception of what that looks like. But selling your soul, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like doing anything that takes you outside of your own moral compass that you would likely be ashamed of, or that someone can hold against you later, or something that, you know, will take you outside of yourself in order to maintain a position or a status. That's selling your soul. People do it every day and they're not in the industry.
Thank you. Exactly. If you're willing to cross your supervisor or cross your coworker at your job just to get paid a bonus at your job or get a raise, you know what I mean? That is selling your soul.
Yes.
Shavi, I'm scared about the time because I told you 4:30. Yes. I'm at my dad's cemetery and they close at 4:30. So what time do you have?
No, yes, it's 4. Let me see. They close at 4:30 your time. So yeah, we got like 5 minutes left. So I mean, just to close out, we're happy to have had you on here, Don. I would love to have you back on here again. Y'all definitely got to go on.
Please have me back, because this was the biggest mess.
It's okay. It turned out great. What y'all think out there? Leave some fire emojis in the chat for Don if this turned out just exactly.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. And also, I did leave your PayPal up here just to send love, you know, just to send love to you, Don. Send love to Don, okay? But yes, I'm glad that you was able to come on, and I would love to have you back on again. And just to kind of close out, like, is there anything that you wanted to leave everybody with in terms of those who have a skewed perception of you? What do they need to know about you?
They need to mind their business.
Okay.
That's one. That's the first one. Because it's not the fans that are doing that. It's really the haters. It's too close. I always say this when I see ugly comments that are really hateful and deeply, deeply like venomous, wicked comments. I always know that it's someone on the inside, because a fan will be upset. You know, they'll be like, I got a bone to pick with you, Dawn. Like when you left In Vogue, I was so upset with you. You left, and you know, you left us high and dry, and we loved you. 1 minute we saw you there, and then we didn't see you at all. You were gone. And I'm like, well, it wasn't my fault. I didn't have a choice in that. And they're like, okay, well, I love you anyway. And it'll be that. But these are like, Shavi, I'm sorry for the noise.
No, it's fine.
Ambulance. Yeah, but these are like, you know, well, like I said, show us your contract if you made 2 pennies a record, or you know, you always got to talk so bad about the girls. I'm talking about my history with the girls. I do not want to put down. They don't see it when I say that I love In Vogue, or that I love Lucy Pearl, and I'm so proud of what we've done. And I was in 2 of the most amazing groups ever. Like, they don't see all that stuff, or that they didn't ask me about my dog passing away in my car, that I have his ashes in the corner over there, like I showed in the video. You know, how are you doing since that? Because that was hard to lose. When you don't have kids, you are a fur baby mom.
Yes.
And that was my baby. That was my child. So, you know, they don't say nothing about that stuff. They always say nasty things. So I just know that it's not the fans that have it, because the fans are like, oh my gosh, I have a place if you need a place to stay, or we're praying for you, or I'm proud of you. You know, the fans are like really proud. So the misconception is because they want to have that misconception, and it's just haters. That's all. And I don't even pay them any mind. Last night, I literally deleted like 2 different haters. Usually I comment and I try to explain, and I'm like, no more explaining. Just
well, it's definitely far less of haters than it is supporters, because I would just say this: when I go and look at any interview with the current group, no shade to the current group, but I promise you, every comment underneath every video I've seen is, where's Don? The group is not talking about Don. How come Don is not here? And it's the truth, okay?
Yes.
It's also energy too. You have a certain energy that you just exude, and it makes everything come together. So
thank you so much.
It is lacking without you, Don. I'll be the first. I'm sure I'm not the first to say it, but I'll be the one to say it right now. It is lacking without you. But I'm so glad that you came on here, Don.
I see it. I see it too. I'm not going to act like I don't see it. I have eyes just like everyone else. That's why I said in my video, you're missing me. You're missing that fire. The support that I would give, sitting with Cindy for hours, because she and her husband had gone through something together. They were together going through that. And he was doing other things in the house, but he let me and Cindy have our time as women. And I just sat with her and we cried, and it was hard for them. So, you know what I mean? It's like, did you forget that part? Like, for her to be so nasty. I know why the attacks are happening, and it's too bad for them, but it's very good for me. I know that the universe, my spiritual team is taking me in places that I've never been before. And it's going to be bigger than En Vogue and Lucy Pearl put together.
Hello.
Okay? And I mean that. But Shavi, please have me back on.
I definitely will. We're going to do this again. I appreciate you, Don, for just even gracing us with your presence. So, y'all, I appreciate everybody that came on today. I adore you as well, Don. And definitely go. What's your channel is Dawn Robinson on YouTube.
Dawn, you talking about my YouTube?
Your YouTube channel.
Official Dawn Robinson.
Official Dawn Robinson, yes, because I know you're going to be making more messages on your channel and speaking out about things there. So y'all definitely got to go check out Dawn over there for those of you that don't know that she has a YouTube channel. But thank you so much for coming on, Dawn.
Thank you, Shavi. I adore you, hon.
All right, we'll talk soon. You have a great one too.
Thank you to everybody that chimed in. We can't really answer questions, and I apologize, but thank y'all so much for being here with Shavi and I.
All right. Okay. Take care, Dawn.
Take care, boo.
All right, let's see. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming on today. Oh my goodness. I know it took a while for us to get this going, but we finally was able to do it. There was a lot of opposition, y'all. Literally, my camera went out. Okay. It was all types of stuff going on, but we still made it happen. And my spiritual team had already told me it was going to be a little bit of opposition that was going to try to come in and interfere, because one thing about the chosen seed who end up having a name in the industry, when they get as big as Dawn has gotten in the industry, the powers that were want to silence voices like hers, because they know that people recognize her, they know her, people grew up with her music, people admire her, they're inspired by her. So when she is an awakened chosen seed that starts speaking about spiritual journeys and is able to come through with such a humble energy, trust and believe there's always going to be that pushback, that opposition that tries to dim the light. And they're like, no, you will not shine without us giving you the spotlight. You will not shine without, following suit with what we told you to do, because they think they gave her the gift. They think that they gave her the name. Don Robinson was Don Robinson before the industry. Okay. She just graced them with her presence. So this is so important and that's why I love that she was able to come on. It's so important for people to be able to see that this is bigger than the industry, is bigger than the government, is bigger than all of these different structures out here. Without their support, without their, without their backing, without their support, we still shine. And I was talking to Don before in regards to how, you have these different shows such as Shark Tank or like the X Factor and different shows like that, where they try and say, no, you have to come through us. If you want to have a name, if you want to shine, if you want to be able to express your God-given talents, you got to come through us, because we are the big wigs. We make the final decision. We determine who's going to be able to have a name and who's going to be able to inspire those. But see, we're in a different time now. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of, I know someone is asking if she has a Cash App. That's her PayPal up there on the screen right now. But this is the age of I know. And so we don't have to take those routes anymore. People don't have to sell their soul anymore. People don't have to bow down before others anymore in order to bring your natural gifts and talents to the world. We have social media now, where those of you who have voices and you're able to sing, or you write music, or you're writing books, or you're bringing forth creative things that you're making with your hands, you have so many different ways of expressing your talents without having to go through these beings that think that they have all of the control and all of the power. And it was meant for it to happen that way. So I love that Dawn has been able to share her journey with us. And if there are other chosen seeds in the industry, which I know that there are, hopefully they'll start speaking out too. Hopefully they'll start using their voice as a medium to let people know that, hey, you ain't no puppet. You ain't being controlled in the background. The mission is far greater than submission. Ooh, the mission is far greater than submission. So I'm glad that y'all was able to join in today. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that was patient until we was able to get things going, but we made it happen. I appreciate those of you that did some burning and releasing for the cockroaches that was trying to stop it. And if you didn't catch the full podcast, you can definitely catch it, because I'm getting ready to upload it. But definitely send, Don some love, some gifts of love, because we're all here to support one another. So I thank y'all. Be sure to like the video, share it with others, and y'all know we're going to be doing this again very soon. I'm sure Don will be able to come back on in the future, and we'll be able to really dive deeper. So let's see. All right, I'm just looking at y'all's comments out there. But again, I appreciate y'all. Okay, so I'll be seeing y'all pretty soon. And you can always go back and watch it. Who is that? I can't even pronounce your name. Dash is at the end. You said, oh my God, it's over. That's all right. You can always go back and watch it, because it's getting ready to be uploaded right now. So I will be seeing y'all very soon. Y'all take good care of yourselves. All right.